Hi everybody, today we're doing lesson 9-2, but we're also doing 9-3. I'm combining the two together. They're both on polynomials. We're going to be multiplying polynomials by monomials in this first part. So you can do 9-2 and 9-3 on the same notes. You can signify where 9-2 stops and 9-3 starts. Just make sure that you're getting all the notes. 9-2 is starting on page 115 in your book, if you're following along in your book, but all notes should be in your notebook because we've got that notebook check coming up next Wednesday. So to find the product of a monomial, remember, one term, and a binomial, two terms, you can use the distributive property. You can also use the distributive property to find the product of a monomial and a larger polynomial. When polynomials are multiplied, the product is also a polynomial. Therefore, the set of polynomials is closed under multiplication. This is similar to the system of integers, which is also closed under multiplication. So let's go ahead and take a look. Example 1. So we're just going to distribute, okay? So here I have my negative 2 times 4. It's going to give me negative 8. But I also have x times x squared. So when you're multiplying exponents, you add them. So this is x to the third. Okay? I have negative 2 times 3, which is going to be negative 6. And I have x times x, which is going to be x squared. I have negative 2 times negative 5, which is going to be positive 10. And then I have x times negative 5, which is going to be just x. So I know it got sloppy when I was drawing all the lines, but I wanted to show you it is the number times the number and then the variable times the variable each time. So this one didn't have a variable, but because we have a variable in the monomial, we end up with the variable in our answer. And notice this is set up in standard form, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Moving on to example 2. Sometimes you will have enough numbers that after you distribute, you will need to simplify. So starting here, I have 3n times 6n to the third. 3 times 6 is 18. N times n to the third is n to the fourth. And then I have 3 times negative 4 is going to be negative 12. N times n is n squared. When I'm multiplying here, remember this is a negative 2 that I'm distributing. I have negative 2 times 9n to the fourth. 2 times 9 is 18, so negative 18 n to the fourth. And then negative 2 times negative 11 is going to be positive 22. Okay, just like when we're using solving equations, the next step is going to be combine like terms. Like terms have the same variable and exponent. So I see n to the fourth and n to the fourth. I have 18 minus 18, so these two are going to cancel out. I have negative 12 n squared plus 22, and that is going to be my answer. Okay. I'm actually skipping example 3 because of combining the lessons. I wanted to make it a little bit shorter, so we're moving on to example 4. We can also solve equations with polynomial expressions. So here's my equal sign. Lots of you like to draw that line so that you know what's going on and you don't move this. This is probably just going to come down for a while until I get to a point where I can solve, because the first thing I'm going to have to do is distribute. I've got negative 2 times p is negative 2p. I've got negative 2 times positive 3, which is going to be negative 6. This is a positive 3. 3 times 6p is going to be positive 18p. 3 times negative 30 is going to be negative 90. Okay, combine like terms. I have p's. I'm going to bring my negative 16 down before I forget it. I have p's. I've got negative 2 plus 18. That's going to be 16p. So those have been combined. These are also like terms because they don't have any variables at all. So I've got negative 6 plus negative 90. It's going to be negative 96. Now I'm going to bring my negative 16p down. Are you ready? I need to get p to one side of the equal sign. So this one's already got p by itself, so I'm going to move this one. To move this one, it's positive. I'm going to subtract minus 16p from both sides. Okay, negative 16 minus 16, that's going to be negative 32p. And I've used that up, so I'm going to bring down my negative 96. Okay, I'm still trying to get p by itself. I'm going to divide by negative 32 because that's multiplication. I'm going to divide by negative 32. This cancels and leaves me with just p equals negative 36 divided by negative 32. Type it in your calculator if you need to. Negative negative makes it positive. 96 divided by 32 is 3. Okay, so the answer to this whole thing, p equals 3. That was A. We're going to do it again. We're going to try it with B. Here's my equal sign. The difference here, I have to distribute on both sides, so I'm going to have to do probably a little bit more work this time. I've got negative 2q times 4q. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. Q times q is q squared. Now I've got negative 2 times negative 2q times negative 9. Negative times negative gives me a positive. 2 times 9 is 18, and then I have a q. Bring my equal sign down. Now I have to distribute this side. Q times negative 8q. That's going to be negative 8q squared. Q times positive 15. It's going to be positive 15q. Remember, when distributing this one, you're distributing the negative 3. Negative 3 times negative 4q. Negative negative makes a positive. 4 times 3 is 12, and then I bring down the q. Negative 3 times negative 6. Negative negative makes it positive. 3 times 6 is 18. Now I got to combine some like terms here. Okay? I'm going to have to combine some like terms. So first I have nothing the same on this side. This side I have q's that are the same. So I'm going to bring down my negative 8q squared because I can't combine it with anything on this side. But I do have 15 plus 12. 15 plus 12 is going to be 27q. And then bring down my plus 18. I'm going to bring everything down on this side. Minus 8q squared plus 18q. Let's see if there's anything I can get rid of. Let's see these q squareds. I see a negative 8 and a negative 8. If I add 8q squared, that cancels out. If I add 8q squared, that cancels out. Bring everything else down. I have 18q equals 27q plus 18. I'm trying to get q to one side so I can solve for q. So I'm going to subtract 27q, which cancels that out. Subtract 27q. 18 minus 27. I don't know that one. 18 minus 27. I'd have to think about it a little more. It's going to be negative 9q. 9q equals 18. Divide by negative 9. Divide by negative 9. Q equals negative 2. Okay, there we go. You're now going to try it. You have two problems for your check. You're going to try A and B. Okay. Okay, here we go. Let's do A. I have 2p equals 3 times 4p minus 10. My line for those people that like their line. First thing I have to do is distribute. 3 times 4 is 12p. 3 times negative 10 is negative 30. There's my equal sign. Bring down my 2p. I need to get p to one side, so let's go minus 12p. Minus 12p. 2 minus 12 is going to be negative 10. P equals negative 30. I'm trying to get p by itself, so we're going to divide by negative 10. Divide by negative 10. P equals negative is positive. 30 divided by 10 is 3. And there's A. P equals 3. B. It's a little bit longer. Let's copy down the problem first. Negative 3q times 2q plus 5 equals 2 times negative 3q squared plus 15 minus, I hope I don't run out of room, 10q plus 6. I did not. There we go. Okay, this one's going to be a little bit longer. Here's my line for my equal sign. I hope I don't run out of room. Let's go. Negative 3q times 2q is going to be negative 6q. Negative 3q times 5 is going to be negative 15q. Equals, let's do the other side. I have 2 times negative 3q, negative 6q squared. I've got 2 times 15, that's 30. I've got a negative 5 I'm distributing here. Negative 5 times 10q is negative 50q. Negative 5 times 6 is negative 30. Okay, let's combine some like terms. Over here, they're both q, so I've got negative 6 minus 15. So negative 6 minus 15 is negative 21q. Let's see, I don't have any other q squared, so I'm going to bring that down. Negative 6q squared. Oh wait, this was wrong. I forgot this one was I copied this. Q times q is q squared, so this one's staying the same. So this is negative 6q squared minus 15q. My bad. That's going to make a difference later. I have positive 13 and negative 30, so 13 minus 30 is negative 17. And then I have negative 50q. From my mess up here, I see I have a negative 6 and a negative 6. Those are going to cancel out by adding 6q squared to both sides. So those cancel out. This side is still the negative 15q. And I have negative 17 and negative 50q still. Okay. I need q to be to one side, so I'm going to add 50q and 50q. So I have negative 15 plus 50 is going to be 35q equals negative 17. Divide by 35. Divide by 35. Negative 17 divided by 35. I've messed something up somewhere. Okay, I know what I did wrong here. I got interrupted by somebody coming into my room. 2 times 15 is not 13. So you're learning from my mistake here. 2 times 15 is 30. So we're going to see how this changes, right? So when I did 30 minus 30, this completely goes away. So when I got to this point right here, and I'm just going to, this is going away, I'm going to rewrite it up here. You're learning from a mistake thanks to someone coming in my room. So this side I was left with negative 15q. And on this side, we did cancel that out. Positive 30, negative 30 went away, so I'm left with negative 50q. So what happens here is when I add 50, I now have 35q equals 0. When I divide by 35, 0 divided by anything is still 0. So q equals 0 for this one. So sorry, my bad. Hopefully some of you caught this when I was doing it the first time. I'm going to get so many questions today. That's okay. That means you're paying attention. Okay. Now we're moving on to 9-3. 9-3, we are still multiplying polynomials. Does this look familiar? A bunch of you have been doing this with Coach Q. So binomials can be multiplied horizontally or vertically. I like FOIL. I don't do any of this. I use FOIL. I know Coach Q teaches you FOIL. I'm going to be teaching you FOIL to multiply binomials today. Okay? It wants us to do vertical, horizontal. I'm just going to do FOIL. FOIL stands for FOIL. First, outer, inner, last. So first is the first term times the first term. Outer is the inner terms, the ones on the inside. So there's my inner. Outer, I skipped outer. Outer is the ones on the outside. So first of each, outside of each, inside of each, and then last is the last term times the last term. Okay? So an expression, let's do FOIL. Okay, so I have first. I'm just going to write it for you right here. First, x times x is x squared. Outer, outside term times outside term. X times 7 is 7x. Inner, negative 1 times x is going to be negative x. Last, negative 1 times 7 is going to be negative 7. Next, you need to combine any like terms. I've got 7x minus x. That's going to be 6x. And bring down the other two terms. Okay? And there we go. That is our solution when you are multiplying binomials using the FOIL method. Example 2. You're going to see it again. I have 3x is a FOIL. First, I have 3x times 4x, so 3 times 4 is 12. X times x is x squared. Outer, I have 3x times negative 10, so I have negative 3 times 10 is 30, x. Inner, negative 4 times 4x. Negative 4 times 4 is 16, x. Last, negative 4 times negative 10 is positive 40. Combine like terms. Negative 30 minus 16x is negative 46x. Bring down the other two terms. Hopefully this is coming pretty easy to you. I think FOIL's fun. You might not think FOIL is fun. I think FOIL is fun. Hey, look. They have us doing the actual FOIL method now. So, first, 2a times 5a. 2 times 5 is 10. A times a is a squared. Outer, 2a times 3 is going to be 6a. Inner, negative 12 times 5 is going to be negative 60 with an a. Last, negative 12 times 3 is going to be negative 36. Got my last. Combine like terms right there. 6 plus negative 60. So 6 plus negative 60 is negative 54. A. Bring down the other two terms. That's FOIL. You've got 3 chances to try. Now you're going to do the check. Okay? Here's the actual problem. I know it puts more words there. You don't have to do this part. I just want to know the answer at the end. But, yeah, it's asking you to figure out which terms you're multiplying by which terms here. So pause the video. Use the FOIL method to solve this. Ready? First, 3p times 2p is 6p squared. So here they're asking what you're multiplying by, 2p. Outer, 3p times 6 is positive 18p. Inner, negative 9. Oh, well, so this one it's 3p. Inner, negative 9 times 2p is going to be negative 18p. So this was negative 9 times 2p. We got negative 18p. Last, negative 9 times 6. So we're multiplying negative 9 and 6. Negative 9 times 6 is negative 54. So something happens here. 18 minus 18, this cancels out. And you just bring down the other terms. So what is the product of these written in standard form? This would be the product in standard form. Example 5. So here's where we have to think distribution. Okay, we're multiplying a polynomial using the distributive property. I've got a binomial here and a trinomial here. So what's going to happen is I have to multiply x by all of these things, and then I have to multiply 3 by all of these things. We're just distributing twice. Okay, so first, x times x squared is x to the third power. Next, x times negative x is going to be negative x squared. Next, x times negative 9, negative 9x. I'm going to come underneath with my lines now because I'm going to do my 3. 3 times x squared is positive 3x squared. 3 times negative x, negative 3x. 3 times negative 9, negative 27. You're not done with this one though, because you have to combine like terms. X cubed. There's no other x cubed, so I'm going to bring it down. X squared. Here's the other x squared, so I have negative x squared plus 3x squared. That's going to be 2x squared. So I took care of those. Next I have negative 9x and negative 3x. Negative 9 minus 3, that's going to be negative 12x. So this one had nothing to connect to. That connected to that one. That connected to that one. I don't have anything to add the negative 27 with, so I have negative 27 left over. Is it in standard form? 3, 2, 1, 0. Yes, it is. Okay. Oh, nope, this is just another one to practice. So, oh my goodness, this is going to be so much work because I have to do it 3 times now. Okay. So, let's start with 3t squared. 3t squared times 4t squared. 3 times 4 is 12t. 2 times 2 is 4. 12t to the 4th. Next, 3t squared times negative 4t. I now have negative 12t. 2 times, well, we're adding them. 2 plus 1 is 3. T to the 3rd. Last one, 3t squared times 14. So 3 times 14 is 42. And then I have my t squared. That was just the first one. Another way you can do this is, you know how when we were adding yesterday, when I get a new term, I can put it underneath where it matches or off to the side if it doesn't match anything. Let me show you that. So I'm on negative 5t. I'm going to do negative 5t times 4t squared. So negative 5 times 4 is negative 20. T and t squared is going to be under the t to the 3rd. So I have negative 20t to the 3rd. See how I'm stacking it under so I can add them all together at the end? Negative 5t times negative 4t. So t times t is going to be t squared. I've got negative 5 times negative 4. That's going to be positive 20. Okay? Now I have negative 5t times 14. 5 times 14 is negative 70. So it's going to be negative 70t. Negative 70t. And I put this out here off to the side because there isn't another regular t for it to go with. Okay? Now I know this is getting messy with all the lines. You don't have to draw the lines once you're used to what you're doing. I'm on the last one. I'm doing 9 times 4t squared. It's got a t squared, so I know it's going to line up right here. 9 times 4 is 36. T squared. Now I have 9 times negative 4, so it's going to be negative 36 with a regular t. Negative 36, just a t. And then I have 9 times 14. 9 times 14 is 126. So now this is just one big addition problem, or you could have written them all the way out across the page and combined all like terms. Either one will work. Has nothing added to it, so I bring it down. I've got negative 12 plus negative 20. That's going to be negative 32 t cubed. This one, it's 42 plus 20 plus 36. I'm going to use my calculator. I could do it in my head, but I don't feel like it. This is 98 t squared. It's positive. I have negative 70 plus negative 36. So this is 106. Yeah. Negative 106 t. This has nothing with it, so I bring it down. Big long problem. I have it in standard form. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Woohoo! What do you think comes next? You have a check. So it is going to make you practice doing it with a binomial times a trinomial and a trinomial times a trinomial. So you can do it. Pause the video. Try this. Okay, here's A. I'm going to do this one first. I'm going to do it without the lines this time. Okay, I'll still point. M times m squared is m to the third. M times m is m squared. M times negative 5 is negative 5m. I'm on the second term. Negative 3 times m squared is negative 3m squared. Negative 3 times m is negative 3m. Negative 3 times negative 5 is positive 15. I have an addition problem. 15 comes down. Negative 5 plus negative 3 is negative 8m. I've got 1 plus negative 3, so 1 minus 3, this is going to be negative 2m squared. And then I bring down my m cubed. Let me find my answer. M cubed, negative 2m squared, negative 8m, 15. My answer is A. Okay, now let's try B. Here we go. V squared minus V plus 6. So lots of work on this one. 6v squared times v squared. This is going to be 6v to the fourth. 6v squared times negative v is going to be negative 6v to the third. 6v squared times 6 is going to be positive 36v squared. Now I'm on the 4v. 4v times v squared, that's going to be v to the third, so it's going to be 4v to the third. 4v times negative v, v times v is v squared, so I'm going to have negative 4v squared. Last one for this one, 4 times 6 is 24. I've got a v, so I've got a positive 24v. Last term, negative 3. Negative 3 times v squared, that's going to be a v squared. I have negative 3v squared. Negative 3 times negative v, that's going to be a positive 3v. Negative 3 times positive 6, that's going to be a negative 18. big addition problem. Use your calculator if you need it. Got 6v to the fourth. Negative 6 plus 4 is negative 2v cubed. I've got 36 minus 4 minus 3. This one's going to be 29v squared. And then 24 plus 3 is going to be 27v. And then I have my negative 18. Let's find the correct answer. I've got negative 6v to the fourth. They all got them. Got negative 2v cubed. So it's not that one, it's not A. The rest of them have that. 29v squared. So I'm just looking at these three now. That one does not have 29v squared, so it's not that one, it's not B. 27v. Oh, looks like we found my answer, negative 18. You always check the whole answer, because if you had one of these wrong and it didn't match, then you did something wrong in the problem. Okay? Good work today, guys. Can't wait till we practice.